Next up, we've got Ruthlessness.
Poseidon. In all my years of living, it isn't very often that I get pissed off. I try to chill with the waves, but damn, you crossed the line. I've been so gracious, and yet you hurt the son of mine. That's right, the Cyclops you made blind is mine. No. I live without a choice and without a doubt. Yes, the battle force is swimming with the shark now. I gotta make you bleed, I need to see you drown. But before you go, I need to make you learn how ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Ourselves. You are the worst kind of good, 'cause you're not even great. A Greek who reeks of false righteousness, that's what I hate. 'Cause you fight to save lives, but won't kill and don't get the job done. I mean, you totally could have avoided all this had you just killed my son. But no, you are far too nice. Mercy has a price. It's the final crack. We're about to break the ice now. You reveal your name, then you let him live. Unlike you, I got no mercy left to give. 'Cause ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Ourselves. And now it is finally time to say goodbye. Today you die, unless of course you apologize for my son's pain and all his cries.
What's it gonna do?
Poseidon, we meant no harm. We only hurt him to disarm him. We took no pleasure in his pain. We only wanted to escape.
The line between naivety and hopefulness is almost invisible. So close your heart. The world is dark and ruthlessness is die.
Jeez. You see that last shot?
What have you done? When does a
Is he the final man to die?
43 left under your command. Does a man become a monster? I am your darkest moment. The monster that always draws near. Any last words?
All I gotta do is open this bag.
What? Remember me.
Wow. Lot to unpack here. So, Maddie, I will say, I feel like this is the moment you were referencing when you were talking about the moment in the cave where Odysseus did not kill Polyphemus as an action of punishment versus mercy. I love that all of the things that Odysseus had said to Polyphemus was now said to him from Poseidon. Wow. And so two things are kind of true here. One is that, like Poseidon says, this would not happen if you had just killed my son, but you did not show mercy. You know what I mean? But also, I do think there's something to be said for the moment in the cave. Okay, and here's why I say that. I think both things are true, or understandably true from perspective's sake of he stabbed Polyphemus in the eye and then left him as a punishment. Could be true. From Odysseus's perspective, he did that, so he says, as a sign of mercy. Well, we could argue both sides of this point, but let me also put this into because a lot of this is very military strategy. It's a military theme to this, obviously, because of all the conflict and war and all that kind of stuff. There is a thing that we go by called escalation of force. And it's the reason that if somebody flips you the bird and says, F you, you can't shoot him in the face, right? It's an escalation of force. You meet force with force. If they increase that force, you increase your force. And it's kind of this, right? You meet force with force. You don't over-escalate. You can de-escalate as necessary, but it's very specific, right? So the reason I mention that is because what we are generally trained to do from a military perspective, and this also goes like not just military, but law enforcement and any kind of like, guard kind of person in a way, sentry, I suppose, is that your focus is to neutralize a threat. It's not just semantics for legality's sake. That is your job, is to neutralize the threat. If somebody comes at you with a gun and you're able to disarm that person, Jason Bourne style, without a shot being fired, you have neutralized the threat. You want to do it in the most de-escalated version of that ladder as you can. So I can also understand Odysseus's thought when he says, well, I did it as mercy. Like, if I kill him, you don't have a son. Would you rather have a blind son or would you rather have no son? Right? I can see that. I can also see it like, nah, let him suffer. He killed this many of our people. Let him suffer. I think they're both kind of true, you know? But I don't know. And it also does go back to the fact that we're seeing two different sides of perspective here. And it just depends on which side you're looking at the problem from. You're the worst kind of good because you're not even great. Yeah, that was a great line. Yep, it's the gray area and its perspective. 100%. Yep. It just depends on who you ask. Yeah. Man. And also, so it wasn't just the fact that he did not kill his son, which also is a parallel with the initial theme of the story, of the whole epic storyline, which is the son that he was presented to kill in the very beginning. It's the same thing, right? He said, well, you didn't kill my son, and now there's all these consequences. Oh, okay. Well, does that mean that the son that I didn't kill in the beginning, that these consequences are because of that? Was I supposed to kill this? Like, you're telling me in this, I'm supposed to kill the son. Is that always true? Is that always the answer? I don't know. In every one of these situations presented, you're doing your best to take the context and make what you can of an educated decision, right? Yeah, wow. So deep. So deep. And he doesn't apologize. That's a good point too, because and I even said, I was like, what's he going to do? He didn't apologize. Right. But I also think, while I agree with you in that can be viewed as it's all ego and he's just not willing to take accountability, it doesn't feel right for Odysseus to apologize if he doesn't think that he did wrong, if he thought he did the right thing. Because if he really is coming from the perspective of, I thought you would rather have a blind son than have no son. Like, I thought I was doing the right thing, bro. Why would I apologize? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's so tricky. Yeah, you're right. What's right? What's wrong? Tricky, right? You think he was trying to manipulate Poseidon rather than being willing to take ownership of his actions? Maddie, honestly, that feels like perspective. Right? I mean, like, I understand, like, I'm giving you my perspective and my opinion based on all my variables, who I am. And I feel like all of you will do the exact same thing, whether that's Maddie or Joe or anybody in chat, right? Like, you're taking all of your perceptions of like what people are, what makes people good, what makes people bad. And you're kind of watching all of this through that filter, just like I'm doing, right? So all of this is like, oh man, how do we make sense out of this? I don't know if we can. Well, we can, but we're doing it from our own filter, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and I know you're just giving your opinion too, just like I'm giving my opinion. And all I'm really doing is just saying like why I don't know if I agree with you. That's all. Which is why I love this stuff. I love that we can all kind of view this in so many different ways. And because of those variables that make us feel and think differently, we're able to do our best to make sense of it. Yeah. Oh, that's another good point. Human morals and God morals are drastically different. Really, really good point, Cassie. Yeah. Wow. Oh, I love this. Love this. Oof. Let me make one final point and then I'll move on to the next one, because you really just hit the nail on the head with that comment, Cassie. Human morals and God morals are drastically different. So that makes me think, are the morals of the gods more based on the overall big picture and less about what's better for each individual person having their journey? The gods have, they're omnipotent, so they know the way things need to work and need to go. So they don't really care about your feelings and your thoughts and your feelings. I just need all of this to happen in this way. The gods care about them first. Do you mean themselves or destiny or what? Or do you mean the people? Themselves. So you think the gods are more selfish? They just want to be worshipped. Oh, okay. Greek gods are very much self-serving. Okay. And they always have ulterior motives. Okay. Odysseus is famously a trickster and a liar. Now I wonder though, if I had some prior understanding beyond what I've seen in cartoons of Greek mythology, I wonder if my perception would be different, if my view of Odysseus would be different from the very beginning if I knew that famously he was a trickster and a liar. Because at this point, I don't feel that way. That hasn't, like, there's moments of flaws, I'll say. There's moments of like, that wasn't great. You know, like when they left the cave and he's like, I'm not nobody, I'm Odysseus, bro. And he drops his microphone in the water and they sail away and you're like, ooh, not great. Okay, how do we deal with that? So, you know, I wonder how they will present that as we go. Will we, this is a rhetorical question, don't answer it because you'll spoil it for everybody. Will we get to the end of this musical and then have some kind of twist that will happen that will make us second look everything that happened through the story as major plot points and go, oh, this guy was full of shit the whole time. Wow, this guy is as selfish as the gods. Maybe, you know, again, rhetorical question, but man, good stuff, man. Good stuff.